maybe it just doesn't make sense. Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
It's all about
beyond if it's going to be sold out or not. 8 dates is the fact that the sponsors, the supporters, maybe they are on pause, or even, unfortunately, some have stopped because of the allegations, etc. If you go on the road and you bring that product, is it authentic? Is it the same show? Or are they feeling like they're going to be a reserved version of who they really are? So therefore, we're not going to go all the way with this because this is not us.
Marcellus Wiley reacts to Shannon Sharpe canceling the NIGHTCAP tour. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Let's talk about what y'all are talking about, which is the canceled tour from NIGHTCAP, Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco. So obviously there's a lot of speculation into the reasons why the tour was canceled. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist. You didn't have to go to MIT to know that 2 + 2 is something between 3 and 5. So let's figure out what that number really is. But first, let Shannon Sharpe tell you. Let's go.
Before we get to the game, guys, I want to make an announcement. Guys, we've decided to postpone the NIGHTCAP tour. We look forward to seeing you guys.
Look at Ocho. He's like, all right, this is the notes. All right, let me see what I got to read. I wish I could zoom in on that. But he gonna
Ocho know what it is.
In summer of 2026, it's going to be even bigger, even better. But Ocho and I have come to the conclusion that this is the best thing as of right now, was to postpone the tour. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you in 2026. Some of you guys that have already got the tickets, you probably received the emails and further instructions. But I want to thank you for your support. Ocho and I want to thank you, and everybody at NIGHTCAP want to thank you. But we postponed the tour until 2026. Now,
I don't think there's any surprises that he canceled the tour. The serious situation going on with the allegations with the female sponsors are kind of dipping away from NIGHTCAP. I believe they lost Boost Mobile and DraftKings, or that sponsorship is suspended. People that had money into this tour, maybe they're pulling away as well. So no one should be surprised that the tour is canceled. They probably had about 10, 15 dates throughout the summer. But this is a bad look for Shannon Sharpe at NIGHTCAP. His businesses are starting to fall back, not doing too well. I think he got another sponsorship deal. So he's going to lose some deals and he may gain some deals. But until this allegations, this situation irons itself out, it's going to be tough for Shannon Sharpe.
Okay, when he says now like that, that means we ain't about to talk about this no more.
Yep.
Ocho, you read the notes, but you ain't about to read them notes out loud. Okay.
Change the subject.
Few things from that announcement right there. One is that we got to give them a round of applause.
They trying.
For even having a damn tour. Come on, y'all. Like, let's not start where, what went wrong? What went right? They had a tour. Okay. The tour wasn't sold out because some people have their tickets already, but not everyone. Another thing that jumped out was the fact that when you hear something like this, and we talk about it a lot on this show, I told you about contracts that went good for me, bad for me. When you hear mutually agreed or we, it's always a you and an I, right? And you may have started this or I may have started this, but somehow, some way, it's not 50-50, right? It can't be. So when you ever see that, you ever read that, bold print, fine print, mutually agreed. Now somebody initiated it. So who knows how much of Ochocinco is supporting this? 100%, yes. But this started, maybe Ochocinco was like, no, we can still fight through it. Like, let's live our normal life. We're still doing our show. Let's still do our show from the tour, which
that makes sense. Ocho's more like, let's keep it going. Don't matter. Ignore the hate. Ignore the noise. But Shannon Sharpe, he got a lot on the line right now with ESPN, his businesses. So he may want to push forward, but if there's not a lot of money behind this tour project, why go out there? If people are going to remove their names sponsoring this tour, you're pretty much out there on your own. So I see why Shannon Sharpe went ahead and canceled the tour, or whoever initiated it. If those businesses, sponsors, they're pulling out, you're pretty much left on the island by yourself. So even though maybe Ocho may have wanted to push forward, I think it's best go ahead and fall back, get this legal situation ironed out, and then try to resume tour in 2026. That's the best bet for all parties.
Which leads us to, maybe it just doesn't make sense. Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Beyond if it's going to be sold out or not. 8 dates is the fact that the sponsors, the supporters, maybe they are on pause, or even, unfortunately, some have stopped because of the allegations, etc. You don't know that answer. I don't know that answer, but we do know that obviously they've been affected by their sponsorship, because you could just take a quick look and you remember this part of the show was getting longer and longer. Some people do their sponsors that way by logos, of course, depending on the level of sponsorship, I'm sure. And sometimes you just do it by commercial and reads and on-air reads, etc. It's all kind of different ways. You never know fully how a show is getting supported. Don't just look at logos and think that's it. So,
yeah, once I seen the logos were missing from the screen, the top right, that's when I knew, okay, this is a domino effect. Once you start losing or getting deals suspended, that's the beginning of the end as far as what you're trying to do now. So if you're Shannon Sharpe, man, you definitely took a hit, missed out on the opportunity to potentially make $100 million. Those were the rumors floating around, like his media deal, that new contract, when the volume's up, he could command a lot of money, hundreds of millions. So with these allegations, that whole situation kind of messed up Shannon Sharpe. Don't know if he's going to be able to bounce back. He's still doing the nightcap, still pushing forward. But as far as touring and getting those huge deals, it's going to be tough for Shannon Sharpe moving forward.
I think that you break it down to, obviously, the first thing is it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Then you look at what kind of support we were going to get on the road, right? And there's a fear of the crowd not showing up, I'm sure. But there's no fear of the crowd that does show up. And I think that's something I've heard in conversation. People like, dog, they probably just don't want to deal with the smoke. Nah, I'll give you an example. Remember recently when Joy Taylor and all those conversations and allegations came out and she was named in the lawsuit, they went to the Super Bowl like the week after. And everyone was, oh, snap, they're going to be clowning, they're going to be on. Nah, because you got to remember the fan experience. If I go somewhere, invest my time, my energy, my money to see you, this ain't necessarily the time I'm a clown.
Yeah, but the Joy Taylor situation is a little different. Joy Taylor to Shannon Sharpe, what they do, I don't think they would have really trolled Joy Taylor that much. But when you're talking about an actual tour, that's completely different. It's one thing if you're going to be live from the Super Bowl, maybe 1 or 2 days out the week, but to go on a tour consistently, even though you got paying customers, you're going to have some people that slip through the cracks, still want to troll. They may spend $100 on a ticket to go viral on the internet. That can get them a lot of money as well, a lot of social media attention. So I think people might have trolled Shannon Sharpe on that tour, but either way, he had to do what he had to do. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Those sponsors pull away, you might as well cancel the whole show.
There are always hecklers. There's always somebody in the crowd who want to get famous off of something crazy, be infamous. But 99% of the people, they're like, we rock with you. Like, we get it. We're not perfect. Crazy stuff. We've been lied on before. Whatever you want to do with it, that's where people take it. So I think it's really an addition. Let's go back to MIT. The addition of, hey, the sponsors, it may affect crowd in terms of participation, not how they come at us when we're there. And also, you got to look it up, like, are they going to be the same on the road, or are they the same right now? I haven't seen the show since all of this is hit. Tell me, is the
Yeah, they're starting to kind of get their stuff together, especially Shannon Sharpe. Not really worried about Ocho. He going to be himself. He going to crack his jokes. But Shannon Sharpe, he's starting to get back in his bag with the whole Stefon Diggs situation, basically going off on him, making sure he's being held accountable, playing for the Patriots. People in the comment section, they trolling him like, bro, you got a potential weird case going on. Why are you commenting on Stefon Diggs and partying on the boat? So you're going to get that in the comment section, but Shannon Sharpe, he's trying his best to stand on business.
If you go on the road and you bring that product, is it authentic? Is it the same show? Or are they feeling like they're going to be a reserved version of who they really are? So therefore, we're not going to go all the way with this because this is not us. So I think you just add all those things up. And that's why I didn't say 2 + 2 is 4. I said it like Carl Douglas, the famous lawyer on the OJ trial, said it. 2 + 2 is something between 3 and 5. So y'all.
Yeah, as far as him going on tour with these allegations in the lawsuit, yeah, they could be a reserved version of themselves. They're not going to have those conversations where they talk about back in my day and what they used to do. I think those conversations are up. You may have a little awkward jokes here and there, but they're not going to be able to really go all out, interact with the crowd the way they did previously on their previous tours. So, yeah, of course, they can't really do the most anymore. until the situation figures itself out in the court of law, and maybe after. Maybe he can't talk about certain topics anymore just because certain backlash and more people may come out the woodworks eventually.
I'll beat it up in the comments. Let me know why you think the tour was postponed. Let's not even say canceled. It's canceled for 2025. Were you going? And would you want to go? And would you still go? You know, like one of those situations. Like, but one more time. Props for them even having a tour, man. This is just, that's insane how dope that is for them. All right. Well.
But yeah, man, shout out to them for having a tour. Not a lot of podcasts can get to that point. Something that they pretty much started in their own homes, and now they're able to tour off it. But with the lawsuit going on, Shannon Sharpe, he dropped the ball. I know Shannon Sharpe, he usually got a lot to say about Ocho being late, trying him on air, going off on him. But now it looked like the tables are turned, and it looks like Shannon Sharpe, he really made the show take a huge hit by losing those sponsors and having to cancel that tour. So Shannon Sharpe, man, you owe Ocho an apology. He got to let him know, maybe behind the scenes, like, hey, I effed up, my bad, and can't go off on Ocho anymore, because him being late, you know, not good, not professional. But what Shannon Sharpe allegedly did or didn't do, that's a lot of unprofessionalism as well. Losing the ESPN job potentially. Don't know if they're going to bring him back during the NFL preseason and moving forward. So there's a lot going on with Shannon Sharpe and NIGHTCAP and Club Shay Shay, and we'll see what happens with this tour in 2026.